100%. Cheers. I like the loose vibe.
Loose vibe's fun.
Nice and loose, baby.
You've been to your mom's house, right?
Yes, I have.
And this is Tom's team's first time being here from your mom's house. And I go, our different offices kind of says a lot about who we are.
Yeah.
Tom's is like an abortion clinic. And mine's where you make the baby.
It is a warmer feel.
It is definitely, yeah. This is just a house.
It's a home.
Like,
It smells like baked goods downstairs.
Yeah. There was a pantry. I literally just was snacking for 20 minutes. I had a nice A&W Zero Sugar root beer.
Those are the best.
Which you put me on to, Bert.
They're the
Truly
best.
the best thing you've ever done for me. And you've done some nice stuff. This is the best. Introducing me to this crushes Fully Loaded. Crushes like just the amount of joy I've gotten from Zero Sugar A&W root beers.
I think it's the best zero sugar soda I've found.
Without question.
Without a doubt.
Because I think Coke Zero sucks. I hate Coke Zero.
You just make do with most diet sodas. It's just like, I want a soda.
Dr. Pepper's taking some big swings. Dr. Pepper's got, there's zero sugar, cream soda, cherry soda.
Ooh.
It's pretty good.
Diet Dr. Pepper, sometimes you're like, yeah, that hits pretty good. That's not bad.
Diet Dr. Pepper is a good afternoon on the lake soda with ice.
There's no other question I take more insulting than when somebody goes, how about a Diet Pepsi?
Right.
How about you fucking stand in traffic?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Spit in my eye instead.
So wait, you just got to change the way you take in the Diet Pepsi. You got to change your perspective. I was the same way.
I don't know about this.
I was the same way.
I'm very skeptical about this.
I was the same way.
I'm glad you're voicing my inner thoughts.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm here to stand up for Diet Pepsi.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Across the board, Pepsi products are A&W root beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pull up the Pepsi products. A&W root beer.
Let's get into sodas, fellas.
Mountain Dew is a Pepsi product.
All right.
Mountain Dew's fucking kills it. Mountain Dew's kill it.
Are you
hungover on vacation? Before a coffee, you kill a Mountain Dew, then the coffee even hits harder.
This is the most Florida trash you've ever sounded
this is
in your
very
life.
trashy.
This is a Mountain Dew is a morning beverage. That's what you're trying to
By
do.
the way, I thought you were going to say Pepsi products. I thought you were going to say are for black people because they you know that's a thing,
I haven't
right?
found that. No, is that true?
In the Pepsi Coke competition, like black people, by and large, prefer Pepsi.
Oh, see, look at this. You're wrong. It's Mug, and Mug sucks my dick.
Okay.
A&W is the good root beer. You're taking some hits here, brother.
I am taking some hits.
Dr. Pepper's good. Mountain Dew's good.
If you tell me Mountain Dew's not on the list, I'm going to
It's there.
Yeah, you can tell by...
But what are you, a fucking gay? Are you like a Twitch streamer?
No.
Are you a 14-year-old half Asian kid with a raccoon butt plug in his ass?
Will you please Google...
playing Minecraft?
Will you please Google, do black people like Pepsi more than Coke?
I've never... I went to Baltimore City Public Schools, and I had never clocked this, so I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Black people only sell Coke. They love Pepsi. Nothing.
I'll give you one. I'll give you a courtesy chuckle. Tom's in the zone right now. I'm all you got, Bert.
Brief history of racist soft
I don't
drinks.
know that this is how we need to open up.
Click right.
I don't know that this is what.
I love they have an ad for diversity in here. Keep
Good
going.
science demands diversity.
Every time I've hung out with black dudes and soda comes up, Pepsi. Always.
Hold on. Let's call the blackest man in America.
Who's that?
Donnell Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Donnell
interesting.
Rollins.
He can speak for the streets. That's what he says.
Yeah.
We were a big... I guess I'm thinking about, again, going to school. There was a lot of raspberry iced tea floating around. That was a big one. But it was just what the cafeteria had. So it wasn't a choice thing. And Mountain Dew.
I'm putting a lot of chips on this right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm kind of just going.
Yeah.
Donnell.
What's up, white man?
Hey,
perfect.
I'm doing a podcast with Stavi and Tom.
Some vodka, man. You got any vodka?
Oh, you like that vodka, don't you?
Speaking of beverages, yes.
Hey, I tried to get him to do it. He said, nope.
Nope. I said nope like Diddy. Nope.
What's up, Donnell?
What's going on? What up, son?
Hey, man.
Hey,
I got
a question. Tom has a question.
We got a question for you. And you're speaking for all of Black America right now.
As I always do.
I know. Okay. Am I right in the assumption I made?
You can't say the N-word, Tom.
No. I know.
Come on,
I know.
he's sort of Hispanic.
I know.
Whenever I see a white man sit the way you sit, they want to use the N-word.
Okay. We'll shift it to this. For the most part, do black dudes prefer Pepsi over Coke?
Pepsi.
Wow.
Told you.
Let me tell you the history behind that. There's a book called the Pepsi Challenge. And back in like the late 40s when Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they was the top dogs, right? Coca-Cola was murdering Pepsi. And Pepsi wanted to get more of the black community. I know this sounds crazy. So what they did was they had the same price as Coke, but they doubled the ounces. Like when Coke was giving away 10 ounces, when Coke was giving away 10 ounces, Pepsi would give away 20 ounces. And Pepsi Cola was the first big corporation to put black families in a professional setting with their billboards, with the marketing. Like normally, when you saw a brand being represented, it was like Aunt your mama this, but they was the first one to show black people.
So do you?
Did you guys?
And do you prefer Pepsi?
Huh?
Do you prefer Pepsi?
No, because I date white women, so I had to go. No, but historically, the reason why
It's fucking wild.
I mean, okay, plus the sugar.
Yeah.
But the reason why is because Pepsi was one of the first companies to show black people the good life.
That's awesome. Thank you for filling us in, Donnell.
Did you guys plan this?
Any other African
This
American?
motherfucker had like
No, we're good. Thank you,
He
Donnell.
cited his sources.
I know, it's
He had a
incredible.
book.
All right, we're
That's
sending
incredible.
you a case of vodka.
I've also heard that
Love you, brother.
that in blind taste tests,
Yeah.
you know, where you just have a little
Most blind
sample.
people love Pepsi.
But no, that Pepsi like always wins blind taste test because it is a sweeter drink, and
the
people
Pepsi
go
Challenge.
like, oh,
Do you
yes.
remember?
Yeah.
So-
I don't know about the book that Donnell's talking about, but I remember that was the craze when I was like, I don't know, 13. You put eat an oyster cracker, drink some soda. I mean, we were doing the Pepsi Challenge for fun at home.
Well, Coke, when you were a kid, Coke took a big hit because they changed their, they went to clear Coke.
I remember hearing about that as a soda
Then
historian.
new Coke,
Yeah.
and they fucked it up. Coke has now.
This is why they came with the name Classic.
Coca-Cola
It was to
Classic.
it was to tell people, hey, that bullshit we did is sorry.
Yeah.
This is what you were used to.
Well, that is true. I mean, that there is something, the nostalgia, anytime you're doing nostalgia, American nostalgia, it does feel racist. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it makes sense why black people be like, the new one, the one Michael Jackson drank with a
Yeah,
sparkly
yeah.
glove.
Michael
Yeah.
Jackson
We
was a
want that. We
Pepsi
don't
guy.
want Coca-Cola Classic. That script, that font
Yeah.
is like from before segregation.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when you use a typeface that a guy who, like, you know what I mean, who did and never went to school with black people.
Coca-Cola Classic should have like a guy going, dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun,
yeah.
like,
Everyone go back in the door you came through. Use the back door, you
How'd
guys.
you get in here?
Sit with your own. Sit with your own. Yeah.
We should do some Coke ads.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I always had this fantasy of doing a Pepsi ad where it was like, it was in the middle of a domestic argument, and then a guy just fucking like threw a pan and hit the woman, and then she's crying, and as she weeps, the camera turns, and it's just like Pepsi, you know, like it's just the can sitting there.
They should do a taste test where it's a guy blindfolded and they bring in a Coke and a cock, and he takes a cock. He goes, "That's Pepsi." And then, so Pepsi. Well, I just started fucking with Pepsi.
Just
the one you just described as cock flavored,
Dude, I got two.
You've
I
been
got
getting
two
into
Pepsi
that?
Zeros
Dude, you
here.
do.
I did start fucking with
Whoa.
Pepsi.
I love that we're getting deep into diet soda, because I have a lot of thoughts.
I have.
Yeah,
I could
tell
do
us.
an hour. By the way, with that Donnell call, I think the podcast is over.
Yeah, that was great.
That was perfect.
that was
That was the
insane.
perfect person to call.
Yeah.
Pepsi is so I was always a Diet Coke guy, hardcore Diet Coke. DCs, I call them DCs. I had a nickname
Yeah.
for them.
Sure.
And
And how'd you come up with that? That's very inventive, Bert. DCs, huh?
well, the D from the diet.
Yeah. What about the C?
C from the Coke.
Oh, interesting.
So you
You know SH.
You just
No,
go.
never has anyone ever called me SH in my life.
You should start selling shirts that just say SH.
Great merch idea.
yeah. SH, that's good, man.
Yeah.
You should call your next special. Shh.
Greek flag.
Yeah. That feels like I'm like, keep the allegations quiet. That does not feel right. Shh does
Don't
not
tell
feel
anybody.
right. Yeah. I think I'm gonna pass.
So I started drinking Diet Pepsi.
You
Yeah.
start fucking with Pepsi.
Started fucking
Yeah.
with Pepsi. and I just had to change my perception of when I drank it. So DC has always been for me like I need something to drink. Give me DC, and then I just drink it,
Sure.
and it's casual. It's in my mouth. It's familiar.
This is insane. Keep going.
It's like a get me through the day drink. You know,
Right.
it's like I don't want a coffee. Give me a DC.
Uh-huh.
I started looking at Pepsi as a treat. So because it is a little sweeter, and I started thinking, do you remember those times when your grandma would sit you down and say, "Well, let's sit down and have a drink," and your grandma's always pulled out Pepsi, and my grandma would pull out Pepsi, and I was a Coke guy because I grew up in the South.
Yeah.
But you have a Pepsi with it, and it felt like you were splurging and having a moment. So I started thinking about my grandma every time I drink a Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
And it makes me
I don't know
nostalgic.
anybody who's more into splurging and little treats.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
are.
I'm also realizing you're
that's good.
you're a huge liquids guy.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think everybody thinks you're like a fucking drunk, obviously. But I mean,
Thanks,
and
Tommy.
you know, like, oh, it's my fault. Yeah, you're right.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. What's something you're proud of in 2024 so far? What's something you want to accomplish this year? When life goes so fast, it's so important to take a moment to celebrate your wins and to make adjustments for the rest of the year. Therapy can help you take stock of your progress and set achievable goals for the next 6 months. I am in that right now. You know that if you listen to the show, is that when I shoot my special, I'm taking time off. And what's really important for me as a goal-oriented person is to set achievable goals for things that I want that aren't career. It's really hard because career is so easy. Personal goals, life goals, health goals. Those are all things I talk about with my therapist. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Take a moment. Visit BetterHelp.com/bears today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bears.
You might have noticed a coworker cracking a tall boy in your 9 a.m. meeting, or maybe you caught your own designated driver downing one while driving. Well, it may look like a beer or some crazy energy drink, but it's not. Liquid Death is actually a healthy beverage brand that makes mountain spring water, low sugar sodas, and low sugar iced teas too. Why is it called Liquid Death? Because Liquid Death will brutally murder your thirst, and their infinitely recyclable cans are helping to bring death to single-use plastic bottles. Liquid Death also donates a portion of profits from every can sold to help kill plastic pollution. I love drinking Liquid Death. I love the can. I don't know why that water just goes down smoother. It's great tasting, and of course, you're helping the planet. You can get free shipping of Liquid Death's Mountain Waters flavored sparkling and iced tea 8-packs with Amazon Prime, or grab a can or a case at your local 7-Eleven, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, or on Instacart. Go to liquiddeath.com/bears to check out all their healthy, infinitely recyclable beverages and find your closest retailer. That's liquiddeath.com/bears, liquiddeath.com/bears.
I'm sorry, Bert. It hasn't been every decision you've made. Listen, man, it's a double-edged sword, pal. All right, we're playing fucking arenas. People are sitting out in the sun for 8 hours drinking fucking Millers and Buds all fucking day. I think you did very well for that, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. Also, not. I guess what I'm realizing is it's not. It doesn't have to be alcoholic.
Oh.
You're talking about these. You're talking about coffee. Like, how often in your day are you drinking a liquid? Are you ever dry?
No,
Do you
a
ever
liquid.
spend any time not liquided up? And then, I'm sorry, one more thing. And then it's like these associations you have with the liquids are fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you talk about your grandma, and it's like there's such a deep, I feel like there's a deep psychology with every drink you drink that we could probably unravel, Bert, one beverage at a time, I feel like.
Probably. I can tell you what I want to have if I'm going to get in the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, I immediately.
Situationally, you have.
What's your pool drink?
Yeah, let's go pool. Let's go.
Campari
Let's throw
Spritz.
different.
Campari Spritz?
Campari Spritz is one of the best goddamn drinks in the fucking world.
I like the other one.
Aperol Spritz.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was a child when Campari on Ice was introduced as it was like Campari on Ice, oh so nice.
Yeah.
And I tried one day. I was like, I want to try Campari on Ice. It's garbage. It's really garbage.
It's very rough.
It's very rough.
Yeah.
And I
Cool color,
wanted,
though.
but it's cool
Great,
color. It's like
great
a Kool-Aid.
color.
And then I was with
Makes you feel sophisticated.
I was with
right?
Yep.
Antonio LaFossa,
European.
the chef, and she said, we should have a Campari Spritz." And I went, well, I don't think I've ever had one. 2 parts Campari, 3 parts Prosecco, 1 part soda water. And it gives you a bite on the back of your tongue, but a freshness. And it kicks. I could have one right now. Can you have them make me a Campari Spritz, please? I can't do this.
Yeah, no, I was an asshole calling you a drunk.
Have Pete make me a Campari Spritz, please. I fucking love a nice Campari Spritz, but I don't like. I had a friend. He's no longer drinking. Who only drank Johnny Walker Black.
I thought he was gonna die.
No.
I thought he died, and it's like he might as well be dead to you.
Well, we don't talk that much. But he was just Johnny Walker Black.
Okay.
Everywhere, Johnny Walker Black. That was his only drink. And if they didn't have Johnny Walker Black, he wasn't drinking.
Really?
And he was a big drinker. He wouldn't even fucking drink. If they didn't have Johnny Walker Black, no booze.
Interesting.
And I never understood that because I thought booze should complement your moment. It should, if you're at the Whaler down in Marina Del Rey and you're on the top deck and you get a little calamari, you definitely want a margarita with ice around the rim, frozen with a floater on top. Brown.
Okay.
Come on.
Jesus.
I mean,
See, I'm such a food addict that I'm still thinking about the calamari.
Me too.
I don't give a fuck about the. I will. I mean, Mark, good.
Yeah.
But I'll have a number of drinks. But fucking rooftop, looking at the water with some calamari.
The best.
That's some good. I guess I'm honestly thinking beer in that situation because I think about being in Greece because they have all these little like beachside like taverns.
see, that's the problem. Beer's overwhelmed our culture when beer should be had at beer moments.
What's a beer moment?
You're skiing in Jackson Hole. You stop off and you stop off. Yeah, you snowboarding. And then you stop off at the little ski chalet. And everyone's out there. All the girls look beautiful. Everyone's got their jackets off. And you go, ooh, I wouldn't mind a nice IPA. Nice heavy IPA.
What the status of their outerwear is.
Yeah.
Like that's the most specific. Here's what I would say for beer. It's hot. And I would like a beer.
No.
I just got out of a pool. I'm drinking a beer. You can have a jacket on.
A hot day in Texas, by the way, with a cider.
Oh, okay.
That is because it actually is thirst quenching.
Yeah,
delicious. Goes down like it's fucking Gatorade.
Have you had sour beer?
I'm a big sour beer guy.
Sour beer is fucking
big sour
great.
beer guy. I feel refined when I drink that shit
If you're
too.
in Alabama eating barbecue,
Okay,
a sour beer is the best thing to complement barbecue because you want sweet tea or lemonade. You also want a buzz. Sour
Do they have
beer.
that shit? I feel like every time we've gotten a sour, they fucking poured in a goblet. That's not very like
in Birmingham, Alabama, right across from this great barbecue restaurant. There's a sour beer pub.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll tell you what kind of changed beer for me. I'm not a big beer drinker, but I went to this dude's house who all his beer was in a fridge set at like 34, 33 or something.
The dedicated beverage fridge is one of the most
so
beautiful
cold
things in the world.
Like, you know what I mean? Like almost frozen.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
awesome.
Like, man.
I
don't want to even somewhat warm. You know what I mean? Like,
no, dude.
I want it fucking ice.
You want to
cold.
hiccup the first fucking the first gulp.
You know the hotel across the street from CAA over in Central City? There's a big hotel right across the street from CAA, next door to where they shot Die Hard, the Takamimi Towers or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's a
Yakatomi Plaza.
Plaza. There's a hotel there, and the bar. My dick's gonna get hard.
The Intercontinental.
And the bar has frosted taps. The taps are covered in ice, and I cannot. I had to leave CAA. I had to leave CAA. No job. I left my meeting there. I went over to that bar. And I had like 6 beers. I left my car at CA and had to Uber home. And I was like, I can't work with these people.
I can't work with them.
They're fucking killing me. God, fucking beer is pretty great too.
I know. I'm taking a year off all substances. I turned
Starting
35 this year.
When do you do that?
February 12th.
So you still have the full year almost.
Yeah. It's like
you're not almost there, bro.
Yeah. Wait, I thought you were going to do it next February.
No. No, it's been about 3 months, and I realized I'm not. I mean, I wasn't a huge drinker. For me, it's way more weed and drugs. Those are much more, and honestly, food. That's much worse for me. But I was fucking grilling, and it was hot. I was in Baltimore, and I got a little backyard. And I got a non-alcoholic beer because that to me is just such a pure beer moment of like, got a little bratwurst, got a fucking couple lamb chops.
Yeah.
I gotta have a fucking little brewski.
What's the hardest food for you to resist? Is there?
Oh man.
Is it like carby, starchy stuff, sweet.
It's night
high
ice cream,
fat.
brother.
It's what?
Night ice cream.
Night ice cream.
I'm clean
yeah.
off. Honestly, I think of that as a drug. Like I think of that. Like I'm sober off. I can't be sober off food. You have to eat food. But I am sober off of full fat night ice cream for 3 months now.
Nice.
Wow. That's like. And so listen. Will I have some Halo Top methadone every once in a while in a hard moment? Yes, I will. I will have a 330 calorie fucked up tasting Halo Top. And I also got one of those Ninja Creamies to just fucking make your own. It's just protein powder and almond milk. And it comes up with, again, some kind of fake.
How's the 3 months affected you? Like, have you noticed changes?
I don't know, dude.
Mentally, physically?
Not really. I mean, I guess I'm happier, but I'm also not working as much. So it's like probably just from not doing shit that I feel better.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, you're going to miss working. You're going to be back at it. No, I fucking hate doing anything. Even it's like, like, I could do nothing forever. Yeah. I'm a fucking hangout guy. I could have a fucking little barbecue, see my friends, beach, just chill, whatever. I guess I'd want to do stand-up, but we're talking 15-minute spots. You know, I don't need to do an hour. Just fucking do a couple spots.
Not get ready for an hour. Just fuck around on stage. Have
just
fun.
Fucking have a good time.
Wouldn't that be cool to go back to that world? To like when we all first started. Well, you started when all the social media was starting to kick in. Not really. I mean, when I started, there was like Twitter, but you would just write your jokes. No one really had a YouTube. I was lucky in that. Like, dude, I feel bad for people starting stand up now because they have to post their dog shit clips now.
Yeah, I like to remind them that they don't have to.
Well, yeah, they don't. But I remember what I thought. But remember what you thought, how you felt when you were 24. You're like, I'm actually one of the funniest people on earth. Like you think that, and it's like my jokes were about like, you know, not being too fat to wipe my ass. You know what I mean? Like and shit like that.
I'll take that out of the new special.
Yeah. And I would have, if I could have, I would have shown the world because in my head I'm like, well, yes, I'm the feature here at Uncle Dave's Comedy Hour at the Red House Tavern in Baltimore, but where I should be is on fucking Saturday Night Live. I just thought it was like the media holding me back, not how shitty I was at comedy.
Sure.
And so I get the side because to even want to do stand-up, you have to be fucking stupid and like, you know, and think you deserve for people to hear you talk, which almost nobody does. Like 8 people in the world do, but especially not some 22-year-old with no life experience and nothing that's ever happened.
It was just harder when I started to get the clip and get it posted, and there wasn't as many places.
Yeah,
but when it first went up, I was like, "Oh, people are really going to celebrate this."
Yeah.
clip.
Right.
Till the world meets Bert.
I posted something on MySpace video.
That's the first place mine was.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I was literally I probably posted the second or third time I did stand up, and like my big fucking joke was like, "You want to know where to find me at the end on a Friday night? Paddle your canoe up the river of semen and tears." Like I'm beating off and crying, and I was like, "Heat." Gonna get me fucking a sitcom. And it's like not even a joke. Yeah. That's not a joke. It's just like a sort of like a kind of cute little phrase, but incredibly vulgar. And I guess it's sort of poetic. Like it is. It's closer to a poem.
It's a great description
than it is a joke.
I can see it.
Yeah. Quick math. The less your business spends on operations, on multiple systems, on delivering your product or service, the more margin you have and the more money you keep. But with higher expenses on materials, employees, distribution, and borrowing, everything costs more. So to reduce costs and headaches, smart businesses are graduating to NetSuite by Oracle. NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, bringing accounting, financial management, inventory, HR into one platform and one source of truth. With NetSuite, you reduce IT costs because NetSuite lives in the cloud with no hardware required, accessed from anywhere. And you can cut the cost of maintaining multiple systems. You improve efficiency by bringing all your major business processes into one platform, slashing manual tasks and errors. Over 37,000 companies have already made the move. By popular demand, NetSuite has extended its one-of-a-kind flexible financing program for a few more weeks. Head to netsuite.com/bears, netsuite.com/bears, netsuite.com/bears. bears.
But yeah, I remember posting the grainiest footage you've ever seen in your fucking life.
And I remember reading. That was the time where you were excited to see the comments.
Yeah. You didn't know what comments
here's
were.
the thing. Now that I remember, it wasn't that I had posted it because I didn't think I knew how to do that. It's that it was like Just for Laughs had posted it. And I was like, oh, let me see all the praise I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
And people were like, don't quit whatever you're doing during the day.
I remember wanting any feedback. I remember people would like Zach Galifianakis would have a clip up of him getting smacked in the face by an Asian chick or something.
Sounds awesome.
And I think either that or he hit her. I don't know. But Zach,
and we're talking about comedy?
Zach,
Just to be
have
clear.
you never seen Live from the Purple Onion?
I've seen Live from the Purple Onion.
I think
he get hit by
makes an Asian woman slap him in the face.
Oh, okay.
And so, hold on, hang on, okay, real quick, and I'm going back to this.
Yeah.
But I don't want to forget. Have either of you ever heard how Kirstie Alley's parents died?
Kirstie Alley's parents? No.
Okay. Do not let me forget to.
Okay.
You're never going to believe this.
All right.
And I'm only doing this so that I can hear your laugh.
Okay, great.
It is
her death?
Her parents'
death.
Okay.
You in a million years will never be able to guess how her parents died.
And she's dead, right?
She's dead. So we can play this clip.
Okay.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Do not let me forget to play this clip. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But let's go back to where we're talking about. Live from the Purple Onion.
Okay.
And I remember all my videos were what's wrong with black people? Because I just wanted action. I wanted action. And I was like, it doesn't matter who watches it. Like, just gets action.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, man, Zach's so lucky. People are shitting on him.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Like, that was your feed? That's what you were interested in? Or you were putting out what's wrong with black people?
I was
videos?
putting it out.
Oh, no.
No, but it was a bait. It was early clickbait.
Okay.
Early clickbait because the joke was good.
Okay.
But it was like, what's wrong with black people? And then black people were like, what the fuck?
Right.
And then they didn't like it anyway. Then I'm like, oh yeah, you got me, but you got me, white guy. You got me. I had so many. That was my whole. But I remember being jealous that like Zach had the coolest like footprint. Like he was like in his Wikipedia it says he was a member of the Omega Phi Psi fraternity.
Yeah.
And I was like,
oh, the like black fraternity,
the Q dogs. Yeah. And I was like, oh fuck, they're fucking with this. How cool is that? Now I look back, I'm like, oh, he must have not liked that.
Yeah.
He must have been like, hey guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. Zach,
I would love to see him in Omega Phi Psi. Just
I would have loved to have seen
branding guy. Like
I would have
he's
loved
getting
seeing
branded.
young Zach with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Young Zach.
Big hero. Come on, Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Did you know him at all?
No, I don't know him at all. Yeah.
Zach, do you remember how great? I mean, Zach's still
I was
brilliant.
huge. I mean, when Live with the Purple Onion, all that stuff, like I could his Comedy Central half hour, like it obviously because he's Greek, but I was also on that a little bit on that like alty, I did clubs too, but I just loved his shit. So
Oh yeah, it was like
yeah.
You'd pop around town when I was popping around like doing those spots. And when Zach would pop in, everybody would fucking flip out.
And people just stole the joke construction of like, here's my impression of what is it like the illiterate, the like fuck, I'm blowing it. But it's like he would just do like these very shitty like impressions, and they were just like these little jokes with the pretentious illiterate. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't read, like
the pretentious illiterate.
He would just do shit like that. I stole that. Like I was just stealing his shit, as an open micer where you're just like he was these little setups and, these like impressions that are just little micro jokes.
Did you ever see, I mean, the thing that was crazy about Zach was he would go up and in an Orphan Annie dress. Did you ever see this?
Yeah.
And he would have a black choir hidden behind the thing. He'd tell a borderline racially involved joke.
Yeah. He
had some wild shit.
He did.
He'd tell it, and he'd say, I got a letter from a black woman who didn't like that joke, and I want to apologize to her in the best way I can possibly can. And then the curtain would drop, and there would be an all-black choir, and they'd be singing, and then Zach would have a clipboard, and he'd drop papers, and it was so fucking inventive. I mean, like, no one was doing what Zach was doing, and he was, like, totally free, like a real artist. Him and Comedians of Comedy is one of the it's a real glimpse at like a real brilliant mind that hasn't been fucked with yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was so like everyone was excited to see him.
And he said this. I remember watching all his shit, and my mom's gold Grand Caravan got a flat on the way to Comedians in Cars, and I didn't get to see that that show at the Wrecker in Towson. Still one of the things I'm the saddest about in my life. I can barely drive, and it's like I just fucked. I just get a flat. I'm just there. I'm like, I want to see alt comedy, you know. But we was talking about when he edited his special, he played the piano on purpose so they couldn't take jokes out. It would fuck with the music, and he would take off his clothing so that they couldn't jump around and cut around, and he made it so that, because I guess, I mean, you guys would know better than me, but it feels like they fucked around with people's half hours quite a bit.
Especially back, that was a big thing. I also remember that there was this thing about Zach too that I didn't really understand then, is that he always seemed like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Everywhere you saw him, he was like, ugh. And he was like ready to leave.
That's Greek work ethic right there. That's what that is. I feel it.
He was the first guy to rock scarves on stage.
Yep.
He would dress eccentrically, but on accidentally eccentrically. He was the funnest fucking guy to drink with.
I believe that.
When he drank, he was such a good drunk. He was just.
Is he sober now?
Yeah, he's sober.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see.
Every time Bert says that, he's says it with sadness in his voice.
Yeah, we lost one. That was a tough one to lose, because he was and he still is the sweetest guy. I saw him at Brody's funeral. He's, Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
And he comes up and he goes, "Hey, Bert, it's Zach." And I went, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I didn't know if you'd remember." And I was like, "Buddy, you're in the biggest comedy in the history of comedy. Everyone knows who you are, Zach." And he's like, "Well, it's good seeing you." I was like, "It's great seeing you." And then he murdered at Brody's roast.
He murdered.
Did you go to Brody's roast funeral?
His memorial thing. Yeah.
No.
I didn't know the best story they had. Zach walked Brody into HBO to sell the Enjoy It, and they didn't know what show they were shooting. HBO didn't know what show they were buying. And they said, "So tell us about Brody." And he goes, "This is really hard. Brody, give us your top 5 streets in LA." And he goes, "Satakoy, Sepulveda. I like the basic." And he just starts going off on his 5 favorite streets in LA. And they go, "We'll buy it." And Zach goes, "I don't know what the fuck we sold."
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, Brody was he never was a drink.
When we were in the wings, after Zach had done his tribute, which was really funny and also really touching, and then somebody else went up and they started crying, and Zach goes, "Pussy." Just quietly, just to us.
That's great. Yeah. It's always tough at a funeral when somebody crushes it, and and then somebody's just like, "You know what? I think I'm going to go speak from the heart," and then they blow it. One of the worst feelings of all
Zach's
time.
buddies, or Brody's buddies, are all baseball players, athletes, and so they all thought. I remember one guy was at the funeral and he was like, "Dude, I can't believe I'm doing a set at the store."
Oh no!
It's a memorial. You're not doing and he did a spot.
Yeah,
he roasted Brody. Everyone's like,
"That's tough."
It was a tough one. And then Zach went up and was fucking destroyed that guy.
Yeah.
God, he's so fucking good, man. He's so good. I guess he's like you. He is like you. I'm always fascinated. I mean this as a compliment, because your generation has a work ethic that's different than our generation. I can't stop working. And I remember you, DeStefano, your whole group of guys were all like, "Yo, work enough so that you can enjoy life."
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm fascinated by that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to, because I think ultimately working, this idea that you have to constantly be doing more and more is so fucked up and poisonous, I think. Yeah. And that's that is the problem with America to me, is the capitalism's good up until the point where you just have to keep going. And it's why don't you just find the place where it's nice and stop? Why do we have to why do shareholders always want more? Why can't you just be a profitable business and get to see your family and get to do all these things? And, I think that is something where, most of the people my age can't, are working fucking just to survive. So it's almost this thing of the best thing you could do is, if you're successful, is actually just get to live what a middle-class person got to live one generation ago. The middle class doesn't exist anymore. So all I want is to, have a good time, make some stuff that's fun, and then figure out being happy. Because the other thing is, being successful doesn't fucking make you happy. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily make you happy. You just gotta.
I'll tell you what, being unsuccessful makes you sad. I don't know. You never got to be. I have a really sweet spot in this business, that, and Tom saw it firsthand. Is I was on Travel Channel and like not really. I mean, I was successful, but not like not across the board. Everyone was like, "Oh, Bert's here."
Yeah.
And then Tom was with me when everyone started popping, and everyone started blowing up, and Tom started doing theaters, and Rogan's podcast is growing, and Ari's got 700,000 downloads on his Skeptic Tanks. He's doing his show, and I got fired from Travel Channel, and I remember being, it's not like you're a pariah, but there's a stink on you with other comics. They look past you.
But that
and trust me when I say, like, I think even at Brody's Roast, like, Tom goes and everyone's like, "Oh, Tom Segura's here," and I think I sat at the table with you and Push because I didn't know where to sit.
Yeah,
and because I wasn't like a made man, and like people that show up, like I remember Bradley Cooper showed up. Everyone's like, "Oh fuck, it's Bradley Cooper," and I remember being like, "Whoa," and so like I remember not being like thinking, am I cool with the fact that I'm 44 and it's not going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And people know it's not going to happen. And people would look past you. They'd look past you at a party or look and you in the hallway of the store and they're like, "Oh shit, Kirstie Alley is here." And they'd walk right past you and you'd be like, "Okay." And that's your life.
Yeah.
But
you see, that's a perfect example because I would say, what's Kirstie Alley's life like right now? You know what I mean? Like the point is success. If your personal life isn't right, if you might have a couple kooky habits, your personal life, it's like your success is not going to save you from that. And that's also, I think, a lot of your psychology too. Of like maybe that's true because people are shitty, but how you wanted to be perceived didn't match up with like your perception, maybe. But
of how I felt about myself.
Right. And also, it's like, but that's what you can control. And sorry, now we're just getting into like fucking therapy and like
but
philosophy.
I like this. I would be curious, and I hope we can keep this in the podcast, but I would be curious to hear D'Elia's perspective if he's happier now that his life is less chaotic, less crazy with his kid.
That really wasn't what I was talking about. I wasn't really talking about him slowing down career-wise. That was the negatives with Kirstie Alley. I was kind of talking about some other stuff he was up to. But that is a great insight into your mind, Bert, where it's like it does matter to you in a way where, and maybe that's upbringing, right? Like maybe you feel the need to live up to something. Because like, look, I didn't also come from, my parents came to America. We grew up poor. I grew up in Baltimore. And my thought process was I just wanted to fucking make $70,000 a year playing B clubs my entire life. Yeah. That was the only goal I had. I wanted to put out one special and I wanted to make one really good special. That career-wise, I wanted to just be a comedian, and artistically, I wanted one special that I could look at myself in the eyes and say, like, that was a great special. What it did commercially didn't matter to me. So I had an artistic goal and I had a career goal. And I blew past the career goal in a way that I still am having trouble with. And artistically, I'm not there yet. And so that gives me purpose of like, I want to make one thing that I think is great. And so I just feel like I'm kind of playing with house money and my family's fucking good because of me. And I've kind of done it, And it's like,
that's awesome.
And that's just kind of how I feel like.
It's a great perspective.
And then it's like, I'd like to fix some like psychological shit in my family. We're good financially, but I have a fucked up relationship with, commitment, relationships, all this. Like my career is great, but my personal life, I didn't work on at all. And so that's the thing I want to, and I think you're in a great place where you were working on your family the whole time. And like, that's a different thing of, I don't have that. And then you might have had some stuff. I don't know if it's like family stuff. I don't know what the background is. I don't know what you wanted to achieve. And so like you were feeling like a piece of shit when you're like 45 or whatever, but you can look at that. I could look at that as a very successful career where you were at. I always thought of you as a successful comic. Both of you guys, like coming up, you're very aware of, now you could argue what you're doing now is fucking insane. Like it is. It's crazy. Like there's no other, you're both doing fucking arenas. Yeah. That's fucking crazy, dude. Sure. You got buses. You know what I mean? Like, and not one. There's buses for fucking the stage and shit like that. Yeah. I would argue that's fucked up and too much. You know what I mean? Like, I would argue that it's like you're gonna drive yourself fucking crazy. And I've told you this too, where I'm like, you can't keep fucking working like this. It's insane.
Well, the next I get, it's always been a progression: clubs to theaters, theaters to arenas, clubs to rock venues to theaters, theaters to arenas. arenas, there's like 2 tiers of arenas. There's hockey arenas where you can get everywhere. There's like 7,000-8,000. It's just a great fucking night. And then you get Amalie, which is what, 19, or fucking United Center. And then you go, okay, so 2 at the United Center. And then you're like, wait, what am I chasing?
Yeah, what's
like,
the fucking... Yeah, exactly. That's my point, exactly.
What am I chasing?
Where
It's
does
like, it doesn't go bigger than arenas. No. It does stadiums, but who wants to do 72,000 people? I kind of do.
Yeah, right
in Tampa.
there.
I'd like to shoot one special in the Tampa Stadium.
Yeah.
I've already talked to the Glazers. I've talked to everyone.
Really? That would be a really great experience for the person in the upper deck, I'll tell you that much. Motherfucker paid $200 to fucking hear the machine in echo.
I heard it 4 times. I heard the machine 4 times.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. It's like, at a certain point, what the fuck are we even doing here?
Yeah.
You know? Where it's like, it is cool and it is impressive. And don't get me wrong, I want to play an arena once because it's like, it's within striking distance, but I do want to make it special. I think you do a good job of making those shows special and events. Yeah. And I want to do it in my hometown. And if shit broke great for me, MSG would be the fucking dream of all dreams. But I also think that's like for yourself a little bit. And that like, I really think going back to what I even started this shit for is like, let's just I'm still just chasing, let me make one great special that I'm just fucking so happy about that it's like, and then it's just like, you're kind of done. And that like, life isn't just career and working. And that is a very American thing of like, let me accumulate more and more and more. And let me, no amount of money is enough. And that's like a fucked up way of thinking. I think that we all can't help it. That's how our society is structured. But I'm trying to like stay away from that.
I wish I was more grounded like that. I don't even know what there's a book, What Makes Sammy Run, that I never understood. And then when I started doing it, I went, I don't know what makes Sammy run. No one can figure out what makes Sammy run. And I don't know what I'm chasing, and I don't know what I'm trying to prove. Maybe I'm trying to prove it to myself. Maybe I'm trying to prove it to the industry. Like, well, I know
there's got to be something.
I mean, I did Fully Loaded.
Is it dad shit? Is it family shit?
No. I mean, my dad was a guy who was always said he was proud of me. And so I know when we did Forest Hills last year, someone said to me, they were like, it's a really great show. And they were like, can you believe that you created this? And I said, no. And they said, why did you create this? And I said, I was drunk. And I said, because if I didn't create it, I wouldn't be invited. And they were like,
that's fucking crazy.
And I was like,
this might be the psychology of all of it.
Yeah.
If I didn't do it, no one was going to ask me to do it. And I want to have a party. And so if I don't create it, no one's going to ask me to do it. No one's going to be like, we need to get Bert.
That's also not true.
Well, now it's not, because I've done all these huge things. But if I didn't do those huge things, I would have never been invited. I feel like. But
that's also like, if that's why people are showing up, those aren't people you want to be around anyway. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like the people that would have been there if shit was just going okay. Those are your actual. That's who you want to spend time with. You know. And it's one thing to like meet people because you're just doing more shows. But if you think you had to achieve something to get people to fucking hang out with you, then it's like being the fucking rich kid with an N64 who nobody actually fucking likes.
Wait,
like,
is that me?
No, but it's like, that's not what you should be striving for. Is my point. Is that you're a great guy who's fucking awesome to be around, and people are gonna like being around you whether you have this shit or you don't. And then, in fact, by striving for approval from people who don't really give a fuck, you might be spreading yourself too thin and like just fucking over yourself like in a like very basic human way. And maybe even those people that would have been around, maybe you're not paying attention to them because you're striving for other oh hell yeah.
Oh, fucking Campari Spritz.
Yeah.
My sister caught it. You drinking one too?
Wow, Connie. Hi. How are you?
Oh, you
I'm
made
good,
them?
thank you.
He's sober. Tom and I'll take one.
It does look incredible.
It's so good. Take a look at that.
That's
if you can
awesome.
look at the bubbles coming up, look at the great ice.
Yeah.
Ice is really important. I'm a big fan of ice.
This is huge. I think you should have gotten just successful enough to be able to say, I would like a Campari Spritz, and someone brings it to you.
That's very successful.
You don't need any more than that, though. You know what I mean? Like,
Let's talk about Sprite.
Yeah.
Do you think? Are you a clear soda?
I'm not
fan?
a clear soda guy. Dr. Brown's, by the way, I never got this out.
Oh,
Dr. Brown's is a boutique soda.
Yeah,
Their diet cream soda gives the A&W a run for its money.
I think I've had that too.
Those are the number one seeds in the diet soda bracket.
Okay, should we talk about Sprite or how Kirstie Alley's parents died?
I'd love to talk about.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm game for either, but we've been holding on for this Kirstie Alley story.
Yeah.
Do we need headsets for this? Do we need headsets for this? This is maybe the best piece of media that's ever been made.
So this is Kirstie Alley's parents.
It was made in probably 1987.
Okay.
This audio was?
This audio, this video. It's a video. Can you pull the video up?
Interesting.
How long? Let me ask you this. How long have you been aware of this video?
I saw it the other day. Christine sent it to me. I was taking a shit. And I started watching it and I didn't finish it.
So it's kind of new to you.
It's brand new. Okay.
You haven't finished it. It's 54 seconds.
And I got there, and my sister and I, we were all sitting in this waiting room, and we were sobbing. And as I'm crying, I said, my sister's here, and I wasn't looking at her, but I said, where were they going?
They're down the
And
car.
she said, to a Halloween party. And I said, what were they dressed as? Why would you ask this? Why would you? And she said, the Odd Couple. And I said, oh. And I'm thinking, what Odd Couple? Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon? Well, what were their costumes exactly? She said, Mom was a black girl and Dad was a Ku Klux Klan member. Started laughing. And the whole
What the
family, I guess,
fuck?
had heard this conversation, and we all started laughing.
Her mom was in blackface.
Oh,
Her dad was as a
mom
clown.
died in blackface.
Holy shit. And her dad with a hood on his head?
Her dad was dressed as a Klan member.
Oh my fucking God, dude.
She had the right reaction.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, her reaction was almost a little too lighthearted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
She did that on Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
On Barbara Walters, she said my mom was dressed in blackface and my dad was dressed as a Klan member.
It would
Died.
it would have hit different if the interview was like a couple weeks ago.
yeah.
That's how they died.
Yeah.
He looked at his wife dying in a car. She was dressed in blackface. She's like, you should not have turned down.
He probably looked over in his hood and went, mission accomplished.
He got really into
One
character.
less.
He was.
Is that not wild?
That's crazy.
Oh my
That
God,
is
dude!
crazy.
Dying on the way to a Halloween party. That's tough.
In the costume.
In the costumes, tough. I've had some. I don't want to die as like Mr. Potato Head.
No.
You know?
It's almost like they're all, anything you're wearing, it's funny.
Yeah.
If they're like, what was he wearing? Superman? Like, oh, that's
Super.
pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Superman's really good.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Anything.
Yeah.
Clan outfit.
Clan outfit's pretty
Clan
top
outfit.
tier.
Can you buy a Klan outfit?
You can make one pretty easily.
It's not.
Yeah.
I bet they're hard to make. I bet you $1,000 you couldn't sit with a sewing machine and make a Klan outfit.
Well, I can't sit with a sewing machine and make anything. But
Exactly. I think
could
they're really hard to make.
But I mean, you could probably,
I
if
don't know
somebody is
about
proficient
really hard.
with sewing, you could be like, hey, I need a hood with some holes in it. Make
I
it
think a
pointy. at the top.
pillowcase-
I don't know how to make it pointy.
I don't either. But I'm saying
I have
somebody.
some thoughts. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
pillowcase. You stuff the top with some cotton.
I wore a
You
Klan
know?
almost a Klan outfit.
When? For what?
Type in Bert. There's pictures of it online.
Oh, good.
Bert
Cool.
Kreischer.
Let's bring more
Mardi
attention
Gras.
to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah. So there's listen, I'm going to upset a lot of people in Louisiana right now. But there's a different type of Mardi Gras outside New Orleans where they celebrate Mardi Gras like they did in the 30s and the 40s. And what they would do, type in images, and you can see, oh, that's not Mardi Gras. That's type in Louisiana.
Okay.
You
There's a
remember the
different.
year?
There's a racist.
It was trip flip.
Mardi
I wore it
Gras.
on camera.
Oh,
But they don't use white outfits.
Louisiana trip flip, maybe.
They don't use white outfits. They use patchwork outfits.
Mm.
So they use all different cloths. But it's technically a Klan outfit.
Oh, that first one there?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The hat's tough.
The hat's a tough
You
look.
can't go pointy.
No.
You cannot go pointy.
Yeah. And so everyone's dressed in these outfits and they get on horses and go town to town
Oh, wow.
and go.
And you said they celebrated like the 30s, is what you said?
I think
How
that's-
faithful to the 30s? We go town to town. Yeah, we do a little bonfire.
It gets
a couple
dark out,
yards.
so we got to carry some fire with us. Yeah.
Oh, they have it's not a cross, but they have a huge pole with a chicken on a cage on top of it, and the pole's greased, and people try to climb top of the greased pole to
Okay.
get the chicken off. So the whole idea, what
You
they
win
do
the
is,
chicken?
well, you go house to house, and then they throw a chicken in the yard, and y'all chase the chicken, try to catch a chicken, and then once you catch a chicken, then you carry that chicken to the next town.
Okay.
And everyone's like in hayride stuff and horseback and walking and drinking, and they're throwing beads, and they've got these live animals, and then you take them to the end, you take all these live animals, they kill them, and they make their gumbo.
Oh,
and they make boudin. And but it's
sounds
a
pretty
fucking
good.
and there's wild hazing. like
Hey, Blackie, get over it like that.
I'm not saying that's what it is. It's not racially motivated, but I'll tell you, if you're black, you're not comfortable there.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably not going like, this is cool, man. Yeah. I love seeing a different culture.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of black up in the photo.
No.
The hats are tough.
Yeah.
The hats are tough.
Everything else is like, all right,
And these women that make them are like really good seamstresses. I still have 2 of those outfits. I did it twice. I did it fucking twice. Yeah, I did it twice.
Why the second
I did it twice.
time, man?
You had a good time.
It was fun as shit. We fucking partied our dicks off.
It was just about the chicken for you.
It was just the gumbo.
It was about the fucking boudin.
moonshine.
Boudin was the fucking best.
What's boudin?
Boudin is like a cased rice,
Like a sausage situation?
like a sausage, but with heavy with the rice, real spicy, and they smoke it, and then you take it and you kind of pinch it out of the casing.
You suck it off.
All these, everyone I met in this thing was all cool as shit. No one said the N-word, but man,
Well, not in front of you.
it was definitely a few times where I was like, man, this is borderline.
You went back.
Yeah.
I went back.
Let me get a round 2 to make sure.
Yeah.
This is my second outfit. I know the first time I did it was a different outfit. It was a little more. I still have that one. I definitely have that one.
Yeah.
And there's a mask you wear too. Like, see the mask on my
not
face?
a mask.
No, there's a mask. You have a mask on your face with the hood.
Stop talking, Bert.
Find out what that's called and then Google that. You see some wild outfits.
You said this show got canceled, huh?
Dude,
What time of year is this? Is for Mardi Gras?
it's for Mardi Gras.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's how they celebrate Mardi Gras outside of Louisiana.
Outside of New Orleans. Because you're in Louisiana.
outside of New Orleans. I'm sorry, outside of New Orleans.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be mad because I know that this is part of their culture, and they're like, "Yo, that's not what that's about." But it's like
Right.
it's
It
hard.
is. No,
From the outside looking
100%
in.
is.
From the outside looking in, you're
There's
like,
also, they say the same thing. People say the same thing about the Confederate flag. Like, it's not what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about pride.
It's about pride.
well, they changed the name of Fort Bragg.
You did?
Yeah, to Fort Liberty.
Mm.
I was just there, wherever Fort Bragg is. I did that show, and everyone wants to be called Fort Bragg. But Fort Bragg, what's interesting is all these Confederate soldiers weren't that good
At being soldiers?
well, definitely they lost, but they were like they wouldn't even. It's like when you see like a guy from the fucking 20s in the Hall of Fame in baseball,
Right.
and you're like, yeah, they didn't have Latinos yet.
Yeah.
It's like, so Fort Bragg was over this this shit dick soldier that no one fucking liked. He had a sour disposition. His name's Brixton Bragg.
Brixton Bragg.
And he had a sour disposition.
That sounds like a gay porn star.
He had a horrible approach to war. He always went frontal. Like, he was a terrible fucking guy. He was a worse
Not
soldier.
a good tactician.
Not a good tactician.
Yeah.
One of the worst. No one liked him. And they named him after Fort Bragg.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of those guys got things named after them. They weren't all winners,
No, they weren't.
Yeah.
I know. The statues are wild. I hadn't been to the South, and I grew up in Baltimore, and I spent if I went anywhere, it was like New York, and then I visited. We had like family friends in South Carolina, and I was not really prepared for how much Confederate shit was around. Like, I thought
in Georgia, it's crazy.
I thought there'd be like, all right, whatever, one here or there, but it's like South Carolina. It's like, and I like Charleston, but it's like, you're like, wow, these buildings are beautiful. Then you start doing the math on who built them, and in what conditions, and then like the central market is like, was a slave market. It's like the cute little downtown market where you like buy shit is like, slaves were here and you didn't bulldoze this shit.
Yeah,
bulldoze it and build it again. The vibes are fucked.
The vibes are very fucked.
If somebody bought people here, I don't want to buy like candy corn here. I don't want to buy I don't want to buy tchotchkes for my grandmother, the same place you bought like a toddler.
Yeah.
Like I don't fucking want that.
But these are the best apples in town.
It's all right. I'll go get produce somewhere else.
Stone Mountain. Did you look up Stone Mountain, Georgia?
I've never
seen that?
That's wild.
Stone Mountain, Georgia is like it's very impressive when you see it, and then you're like, oh, and then when you learn what that is, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like an etching into the mountain.
Yeah. It is an etching into the mountain, but then and it's enormous. It's enormous.
It's fucking huge.
But then, can you pull up the history of what that is?
I'm gonna guess it's not chill.
It's not chill. It's not chill.
Let's start. What's the vibe here? What's this
It's on Robert E. Lee Boulevard.
Oh man!
So usually, like if you drive down Martin Luther King Boulevard, you know what to expect.
Yeah.
If you drive down Robert E. Lee Boulevard, you
It's
kind
the
of
same
get
for Confederate shit.
Yeah. Go to
Jeff Foxworthy should just do that Chris Rock bit, but as for rednecks. You know, where it's like you go down Robert E. Lee.
Okay, so it was purchased by the state of Georgia as a memorial to the Confederacy.
Nice.
So it's
they opened it 100 years to the day after Lincoln's assassination.
Yeah.
They had the big celebration.
What are the odds? Do you think they knew? Do you think they
That's
knew?
a fucking wild move.
It's a wild move.
That's a fucking wild move.
A lot of that stuff has little details like that. A lot of the
Damn, dude.
Confederate statues and
being so
what
racist.
does it say about
you do
what is
Easter eggs like it's a Marvel movie?
look at the first drop down. What is so special about Stone Mountain? It's a natural park area. Yeah.
Wow, that is really.
See, that's a way to just make it
yeah.
They have
palatable.
to. There's one guy's job who works for stonemountain.org, and he's got to clean the internet every day. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but can you go to the like the wiki of what is it? Yeah.
What is the Stone Mountain controversy?
Oh, there we go.
This is where the Black Nationalists marched to with their machine guns and their assault rifles, like ready. For
and there's something
war.
about the fact that this is like very close to Atlanta, which is like a massively
Totally
black
one of the
city,
big
like,
black metropolis.
Yeah,
in,
and then they're
in
like,
America.
"Hey, go check this out."
Just in case you guys.
Okay, I'm going to say something very
Forgot.
fucked up, though.
You get a little comfortable around
Is there
here.
a part of you, like, I remember one time, and I only know this because I texted these pictures
I'm just
to Tom.
before you finish. No, but go ahead.
One time I walked into a bathroom in Northern California, and they had old pre-civil rights advertisements up. So it was like, try this, and it was all like Sambos and like I hope I'm saying the right name,
That's
but like
definitely not
like,
right.
Like
no.
it was all blackface. It was all blackface with like, and it was like him with a Pepsi.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and I was so fucking blown away by it because I've never seen anything like that. That I started taking pictures of all of them and texting them to Tom, going like, "Can you believe what the fuck I'm seeing?" There's a part of me that goes, "I know." Separate all the hate.
Separate
just
the
be a
artist from
person.
the art.
Just be a person on vacation.
Okay.
If you were going up to Stone Mountain and you saw a segregated water fountain, would you take a picture of it?
Would I take a picture?
Is there
of
a part of you that's like, shut the fuck up?
Like to show the police or what? like when I contact the FBI, if they're using currently
like
segregated water fountains.
I saw a picture.
So, by the way, the Klan is a big fan of Stone Mountain too.
Interesting.
So it's like because
Wu-Tang?
Wu-Tang. It's the fact that it is a shrine and a massive shrine to the Confederacy. You know.
Yeah.
I got on a ride on a hobby horse
so
one
fucked.
time. And there was a sign above it that said "No fat chicks allowed," and I fucking got so excited. And you're not supposed to see that, but I think that's what I get excited about. Where I go, "That's not supposed to happen."
Right?
Anymore.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, that does. Make
It's like when
sense.
Clinton Portis used to do ESPN, and he'd do interviews, and you're like, "You're not allowed to say that."
When he got on, he was like, I mean, the guy fought some dogs. That was awesome. He literally just said, like, Michael Vick's getting arrested. There's like, thousands of people are protesting. He's like, it's fucking dogs. That was awesome. Clinton Portis
His
was
exact words were, "Ain't nothing but a dog fight."
Yeah. That was fucking awesome.
Like, but I remember. I think they asked Clinton Portis about gays on their football team, and he's like, "Well, they're breaking God's heart." And I remember going like, I was like, "What the fuck? You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that."
Yeah,
Like, there's something fun about that. And I'm not saying like there's nothing fun about segregation, but if I saw a segregated water fountain, I would get like, shut the fuck up.
That's a little different than like a misogynistic sign above a horse, though.
No fat chicks
know what I
allowed.
mean?
Hey, tell fat chick, that's their segregation.
Yeah.
That was their water fountain. I wonder if you can buy a segregated water fountain still.
You probably can if you look into it.
Guess what you're getting for your birthday?
A whites only water fountain. Thanks, man.
So wait. I got
Put it in the office.
So wait. So I'm gonna tell you. You got
And he can't use it.
Yeah.
You got to edit his name out. You got to edit his name out. I got a fucking 12-inch dildo on a placard that said "whites only" on the placard from.
What?
Really?
And I raffled it off at our daughter's school.
How'd that go?
Was it a mystery box?
It was a mystery box, and I said, join the mystery box. I swear to God.
That's
Do you know who
fucking
had it
wild.
before? You got to edit all those names out, but because it's fucking horrific. And this is like 2000, probably 10. It was like back before that was, that was still okay back then.
Yeah. Way back then.
It was a mystery box, and I was just do everything in the mystery box, and someone got the mystery box, and they opened it. It was a lot of people sending stuff that were fans.
Yeah.
And then they got that, and then they gave it back to me and kept the sign.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
So they were more interested in the racist aspect than the
Than the
thing to
dildo.
put up your pussy or ass.
I still have the dildo. It's hard to get
What's
rid
the
of.
closest you've gotten it to your ass?
Never.
But closest.
No, never. Not even
Touch
close.
your back.
No. Something like that I would never put in my ass.
Something like that you wouldn't. So what would you?
So if there was like a something small, I wouldn't mind trying something really small that vibrated hard as fuck.
Now we're talking.
Like I wouldn't mind that. It's got to be long too. I want to get in there.
What have you had in there? Anything?
Like, no, my finger.
Yeah,
Yours?
Your own.
Or I mean, a finger. I've definitely had my finger in my ass.
Yeah. All the way up?
That's good
No, just a
dexterity.
little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I was on coke one time and I pulled a piece of shit out of my ass.
Oh, man.
I knew I had to shit,
Too
but I couldn't
dry.
shit, and I was like trying to shit, and I couldn't shit. And I was like,
You went for the C-section
fucking
approach.
went up there and I pulled it out. And I was like, get the fuck out. We are going to bed. God damn it.
Sprite. What about Diet Sprite? You like
That
that?
Sprite's not bad because it's not caffeinated either.
Right.
I like that's
You
a
can
big
have some
thing.
before bed.
That's a big thing for me. That's the beauty of the A&W Zero Sugar Root Beer. No caffeine.
Yeah, that's true.
That's huge.
And it fucking tastes like
It's the king.
it is the
It's
king.
the king of root beers.
Yeah,
The
it's
king
the
of
king.
diet
Oh,
sodas.
that was good. Tastes like another.
Yeah, take
God.
one for me.
I was tied one on last night.
Yeah, you
This
guys.
fucking store was insane last night.
Yeah.
Insane.
I fucking should have gone. I don't know why.
No, you know what? Okay, so we'll go back to the other thing. This is what I like about you guys is that you also don't chase the rabbit. Like last night, get done, everyone goes to the party. It's like packed, and Tom's like, I'm out. I'm going to bed.
Mhm.
And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I haven't even gone to the post party yet.
Yeah.
Like this is just the post party. I want to go to the post party. And so I went to the store and I should have gone to bed. I woke up this morning going, I should have just gone to bed. I feel like fucking shit.
Do you think there's a moment you stop chasing it that much? Because it is intrinsic to like there is something about you that you just love that action.
Love all of it.
Is there something about it where you're like, because for me it was like so clearly I would just go to those things, to see my friends, but when I was younger I would just be out to try and fuck.
Oh, I
And
don't
you know
care
what I mean?
about-
And I know you don't know, which is something I can't even fathom.
Really?
Like the fact that I would just be out
Yeah.
getting fucked up to not try and get pussy is kind of insane.
Really?
That's kind of my North Star in almost all decision making. And that's why I want to like just be in a good relationship because it's like, it sucks to just be, and now I care a little less, which is nice. Like I don't have to constantly, I'm not as insecure about it as I used to be where I was like, oh, I have to. But like to be out all night, with the exception of the spare bros day where I like haven't seen my boys in a while and it's like, let's really get after it once in a blue moon. But like to just, a married man with a beautiful family that stays out till 4 a.m. more than like once more than a couple times a year. I can't.
A couple times a year?
That's what I'm. That's kind of.
I've done it 4 times this week.
Yeah, that's
and
what
it's
I
Monday.
mean. It's kind of wild. It's fucking. It's crazy. Do you think that ever slows down, or you just think you just love it too much?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm never going to say that. It's never going to say that. I love it. I love it so much.
You do love it. You do
You
love
do.
it.
I love
Yeah.
it. I have a hard time saying no because I never know. It's like a lottery ticket scratch offs.
True. That
Like,
is.
I just feel like you never know
I
what's going
also
to happen.
like I've been around like even when we were hanging out at the backstage before we did the roast, when people would arrive, you know, they're like, "Oh, people have arrived," and I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah.
And he's like, "You want to go say hi?"
Right.
And then I watched him, like, he comes alive.
Yeah.
At socializing.
I think it's real, like just purely extrovert.
Yeah,
shit.
totally.
Where it's like, you know, and I think everybody thinks if you talk for a living, you're like that. But that is because Bobby was like that too when I would open for Bobby, and I'm much more
Bobby
of a
who?
Bobby Kelly.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I'm much more of a like, let me get my head right for the show type of guy. We would go out. He'd be smoking cigars. We'd be talking to fans.
Real extrovert
We'd have
shit.
dinner.
Yeah.
He'd go to like a big dinner right before the show, and I'm like, bro, I need to
usually
get
after too.
Yeah.
Back then, Bobby was.
Oh, dude, me and him, circa 2013. We were like, honestly, we may have been fatter than you were drunk. You know what I mean? Like, which is tough to pull off, bro. We might have been we were crushing food in a fucked up way.
Yeah,
the amount of food, like,
he got real big.
We were fat.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both so fucking fat. It was crazy.
What was it? What was the highest you ever weighed?
Probably 350 at the end of the tour. I never actually saw that number, but I kind of like
because of this. You couldn't see past.
Yeah, because my fucking fat stomach was too. I could.
It's hard when you have to lean over.
Having to suck in your stomach to look at the scale is tough.
Yeah,
that's a tough zone to be in.
I've been there.
But I never saw that number. But I like kind of cleaned it up before. You know, you give yourself 2 weeks to make the scale want to kill yourself a little less.
Yeah.
So I got to like. At the end of this tour, dude, I was 341.
So you're not on tour? Are you going to not tour?
No, like.
Oh, you're taking time off. You're doing Fully Loaded, though, in Baltimore.
I'm popping out for, that's the only thing I'm doing this summer. I'm taking the summer off, but I was like, if you're coming through Baltimore, I got to come through.
Fuck yeah. Thank you.
You should, you know what? We should, if you're looking for a place to work out, my brother's gym is.
I want to work out at your brother's gym.
Is right by
Can we bring the whole? Can we bring the whole Fully Loaded crew?
Absolutely.
All right, we're gonna do a Fully Loaded workout at your brother's gym. Let's do that. That's fucking awesome.
That'll be. It's really close to the venue.
Like this is a big gym dude.
He's got his own.
Oh, yeah.
It's a smaller gym, but that's his job. He runs it.
Okay.
And he's a trainer. He's like a strength and conditioning coach.
I think your brother.
Yeah.
I think your brother. Every time I do step ups.
Yeah, dude.
Because his brother was watching Stavi do step ups, and Stavi's step ups were like, huh? You know, like he moves, and he goes, no, use your leg.
Yeah,
and Stavi's like, I am. And he's like, no, you're using your momentum.
Yeah. And
every time I do step ups, I think of your brother. Isn't that fucking weird?
Yeah, some of those things just stick in your head forever.
Yeah. No, he's the best. And I'm excited. Like, I was pumped to go work out with him, and I literally was too fat. I had to go to PT for like 3 months to start working out. And so now, back in the summer, I'm just gonna go crush it. Work out with him. Yeah.
All right, let's plan that.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. He would love to. This is gonna make his fucking year to hear this. Huge fan. He can't wait. He even was like, dude, he wants to meet people, but to know that everyone's gonna come work out, it's gonna be fucking sick.
That's awesome.
Honestly, strength and conditioning, baby. Yeah, and I even wanted to run the 5K. I was like, I talked to my PT. He was like, you could technically do it. And the exact phrase he said was like, you would be in shambles afterwards. He was like, if I tried even a slow running pace for 3 miles. So I'll be strolling.
There's nothing, by the way, a quick walk and a jog. A jog's more taxing on the body than a walk. At 4.0s, you can jog that and it'll hurt. But you can also walk at 4.0 and it doesn't hurt as much. It's true.
Yeah.
We're going to have a fucking blast tomorrow.
I'm pumped.
It's going to be fun. Thank you for coming.
Of course. Anytime, guys.
You are the best.
Yeah,
you are the fucking best.
Yeah.
And huge shout out to AMW Zero Sugar.
AMW Zero Sugar. If we don't get some fucking...
We've all agreed you guys are number one.
I think they come out with Black Pepsi.
I'm trying so hard.
Black Pepsi.
Black Pepsi.
Black Pepsi. Just make it a clear can. And then you can just go, you know who this is for. And then, and they can, you know what they should do is segregated water fountains. One, for whites only, it comes out Coke. And for blacks, it comes out Pepsi.
And we'll wrap on that. Thank you, guys. Know who you are. Know what side you're on. We'll see you guys next time.
Bert and Tom and Bert. One goes topless while the other wears a shirt. Tom tells stories and Bert's the machine. There's not a chance in hell that they'll keep it clean. Here's what we call 2 bears, 1 cave.